Sometimes the loudest confessions aren't spoken. They're hidden between the pauses, the hesitations, the small things they think you don't notice. You can tell when someone's heart is already yours, even if their words say the opposite. It's in the way they act calm, but their eyes tremble when you look at them too long. It's in how they pretend to be busy, yet still show up in the moments that matter. They're afraid to say it out loud, not because they don't feel it, but because they feel it too deeply. We live in a world that fears vulnerability. People hide their hearts behind sarcasm, distractions, and pride, terrified that admitting how much they care might give someone the power to destroy them. But here's the truth. When the connection is real, hiding it only makes it louder. You start to see it in their contradictions, the way they pull away but never leave, the way they say, "I'm fine," while their silence screams the opposite. That's the battlefield of modern love, not in fights or words, but in emotional restraint. You can sense it when someone's heart is already tethered to yours. It's not in the grand gestures, it's in the micro moments, the second glances, the nervous smiles, the way they defend you when you're not around. They'll act distant because they care too much. They'll joke about not needing anyone, yet somehow you're always the exception. This isn't weakness, it's fear disguised as control. Because when someone's heart belongs to you, they know they've handed you the weapon that could break them. But this video isn't just about recognizing those signs. It's about understanding them. It's about seeing the quiet truth behind emotional hesitation. Stoicism teaches us that love isn't about possession. It's about awareness. When someone cares for you but fears showing it, you're witnessing the battle between emotion and ego, between wanting connection and fearing loss. And if you can understand that balance, you'll never chase love again. You'll attract it. So as we break down these 8 emotional signs, listen carefully, not to what people say, but to what they try not to say. Because sometimes the heart doesn't whisper through words, it speaks through silence, tension, and presence. These are the moments where attraction meets fear, where connection hides behind composure, and where love quietly reveals itself without permission. Now let's decode those signs. The subtle clues that reveal their heart is already yours, even if they're too afraid to admit it. Before we start the video, I want to remind you that my effective online course on mastering the dating game is available now. If you've been learning from my YouTube videos, you're only scratching the surface. This course takes things to an entirely new level, teaching you everything you need to know about the dating game, from approaching a woman to building real attraction. And you won't find this information in any video on my channel. It's available in both English and Spanish language, so you can learn in the language you feel most comfortable with. It's easy to access with a secure payment option. Visit thestoiccouple.podia.com or click the link in the description to enroll now and improve your dating life. Let's dive in. Sign number 1. They mirror your energy without realizing it. You can tell when someone's heart has quietly aligned with yours, because without realizing it, they start to mirror you. Not in an obvious, calculated way, but in the small, unconscious details that reveal emotional connection. They'll start using the same phrases you use, matching your tone, adopting your habits. You'll see it in how they pause when you pause, laugh when you laugh, or fold their arms when you do. It's not imitation, it's synchronization. The mind may deny it, but the body always tells the truth. And when two people's energies begin to mirror each other, it's a silent confession that one soul has started orbiting another. But here's the Stoic truth most people overlook. Mirroring isn't about manipulation, it's about resonance. When someone feels safe with you, their nervous system starts to match your rhythm. It's instinctive, biological, and emotional. You've become their calm, their anchor, their emotional reference point. They may not say it, but their actions whisper it. I feel at peace when I'm near you. That's not chemistry, that's alignment. Stoicism teaches that true connection isn't built on chasing attention, it's built on shared equilibrium. When your energy is steady, grounded, and peaceful, the other person unconsciously adapts to that frequency. Now, if they're afraid of their feelings, this mirroring will confuse them. They'll catch themselves thinking the way you think, responding the way you respond, and it'll scare them because it feels like losing control. They'll pull back, trying to regain independence, yet their behavior betrays them every time. That's the paradox of connection. The more they resist the bond, the deeper it roots itself. Their ego wants to stay detached, but their emotions have already made the connection. So how do you recognize it? Notice the rhythm between you. When you slow down, do they? When you open up emotionally, do they mirror that vulnerability with a small confession of their own? When you smile, do they relax? It's all subconscious. They'll even start adopting your worldview, the way you talk about patience, boundaries, peace. That's not coincidence. That's emotional reflection. A Stoic doesn't exploit this connection. He observes it. You don't rush to label it or force them to admit it. You stay composed, grounded, and aware. Because mirroring isn't proof to act. It's proof to understand. It tells you they feel something, even if they're not ready to face it. And when you remain steady in that awareness, you give them something they can't find elsewhere: safety. The kind of safety that invites the heart to stop pretending. That's how love quietly begins, not with fireworks, but with familiarity, not with promises, but with peace. When someone mirrors your calm, it means your presence has become a sanctuary, and even if they never say it out loud, their energy already has. Sign number 2. They act cold, but their eyes give them away. The eyes never lie. They're the one part of the human body that can't fake detachment. When someone's heart is already yours, you'll notice it, not in what they say, but in how they look at you. They might act cold, distant, even indifferent. But when your eyes meet, everything they try to hide surfaces in a split second. Softness, tension, curiosity, and fear. Their voice might stay composed, but their gaze trembles. They avoid holding it for too long because deep down they know what happens when they do. The eyes reveal truth faster than words can disguise it. It's easy to fake disinterest with silence, but it's impossible to fake emotional electricity. When someone feels for you but is afraid to admit it, their eyes become a battlefield between pride and longing. You'll see the flicker, the microsecond of vulnerability before they blink it away. They look at you, then quickly look elsewhere, as if you've seen too much. That's the soul retreating behind a wall built by fear. They want to stay in control, but your presence disarms them. Their mind says, stay calm, yet their body betrays them every time. Stoicism calls this the fracture of composure, when emotion leaks through even the strongest armor. But here's the part that most people miss. When they act cold, it's not rejection. It's protection. They're not trying to push you away. They're trying to protect their vulnerability from being seen. You've touched something deep, something they didn't expect anyone to reach. Their detachment is defense, not disinterest. The moment they sense you reading their emotions too clearly, they'll withdraw to preserve their image of control. It's not because they don't care. It's because they care too much, and that terrifies them. They'd rather seem distant than exposed. That's where the Stoic principle comes in. Don't chase what hides. Observe it. Don't expose their fear. Understand it. Your calmness becomes the mirror that reflects their truth safely. When they realize you're not judging their hesitation, they'll slowly stop pretending. because nothing softens fear faster than non-judgmental presence. You don't need to call it out. You don't need to push them to open up. Just see them. Your silence, your patience, your composure. It communicates safety in a world addicted to noise. The eyes reveal what pride hides. They'll avoid yours when they feel too much, then seek them out when they miss your calm. It's an emotional rhythm. Approach, retreat, approach again. They might not say the words, but the truth glows between the blinks. You can feel the warmth behind the restraint. The eyes tell you, I want to let you in, but I don't know how. And when you recognize that without judgment, something magical happens. You stop needing their confession, because you already know. In the Stoic way, that's all you need. Awareness without attachment. You don't demand, you don't chase. You simply understand that their silence is just another form of honesty, spoken through the language of the eyes. Sign number 3, they pull away but always return. When the heart wants something, it always finds its way back, even if the mind resists. That's why someone who's secretly connected to you will pull away, create distance, even pretend to move on. But somehow, they always return. Maybe it's a random message after weeks of silence, a comment out of nowhere, or a coincidence that doesn't feel like one. The truth is simple. Detachment is easy when emotions are shallow. But when someone's heart is already yours, separation only deepens the bond. They may run from you, but they can't escape themselves. And you've already become part of their emotional rhythm. The Stoics taught that emotion is not weakness. It's simply energy misplaced. Fear often disguises itself as indifference. When they pull away, it's not because they don't care, it's because they care too much, and the intensity scares them. You awaken something inside them that challenges their control. They start feeling emotions they thought they buried long ago, and that makes them retreat. It's a self-defense mechanism, not rejection. The heart feels drawn, but the ego fears dependency. So they run, not from you, but from what you represent. Vulnerability. But what they don't realize is that true connection doesn't fade in absence. It matures. Time and silence have a strange way of amplifying truth. When they're away from you, everything they tried to suppress begins to surface. They replay conversations, recall your tone, your calm, your steadiness. They compare it, often unconsciously, to everyone else around them, and nothing feels the same. Your energy becomes the quiet standard against which they measure all others. That's why they always return. Not because they're indecisive, but because their heart recognizes safety where their mind only saw danger. They miss not your attention, but your peace. From a Stoic perspective, your role is not to cling when they pull away. It's to remain unmoved, grounded, and patient. You don't chase them through the fog of their confusion. You stay still, like a lighthouse guiding them back when they're ready. Chasing would only confirm their fear that emotional closeness means loss of freedom. But your stillness teaches them something deeper, that love can exist without control. Your silence becomes their mirror. It reminds them that connection doesn't need constant validation to be real. Eventually, their returns become less about curiosity and more about surrender. Each time they come back, they're a little less defensive, a little more open. That's the quiet victory of the Stoic approach. You never had to force the connection. You simply let it reveal itself in its own time. You respected their fear without letting it dictate your peace. And in doing so, you showed them what real love looks like. Calm, patient, and untouchable. So when they pull away again, don't panic. Let them go, knowing they'll return when the noise in their mind fades and the silence reminds them where they felt understood. Because what's real doesn't need to be chased. It always finds its way back. Sign number 4. They remember every detail about you. When someone's heart quietly belongs to you, their memory becomes selective, and you are the constant. They may act distant, restrained, even indifferent, but somehow they remember the smallest details you once thought went unnoticed. They recall your favorite drink, that one story you told months ago, the song that made you smile, or the way your tone changes when you're deep in thought. These aren't random memories. They're proof of emotional imprinting, the subtle way the heart stores what the mind tries to forget. You didn't just cross their path, you lingered in their awareness. And even when they try to act detached, their recall betrays them. You see, people don't remember words. They remember energy. They remember how you made them feel, how your presence shifted the room, how your calm made chaos feel manageable. That's what makes the details stick. The Stoics would say it's because truth leaves no resistance. When a connection is real, the heart absorbs it effortlessly. They might forget appointments, names, or places, but the things tied to you remain vivid. They might even bring up small things in casual conversation, pretending it's random, when in reality, it's a confession disguised as curiosity. Didn't you say you liked that cafe? Or, you used to wear that color a lot, right? Those aren't coincidences. Those are breadcrumbs of remembrance left behind by a mind that can't let go. What makes this powerful is that remembering details is not about obsession. It's about emotional presence. To remember you means they were truly there with you, engaged beyond the surface. It means their heart was awake when they were around you. But here's where it gets interesting. People afraid of love will often try to hide this awareness. They'll pretend they forgot, act like they don't care, or change the topic quickly when something reminds them of you. But their timing, their hesitations, their slips, they all reveal that you've become part of their internal dialogue. Even silence becomes evidence. In the Stoic way, your task is not to reward their subtle confessions with validation, it's to observe them without attachment. You don't need to point it out or analyze it. You simply see. Because when someone remembers you in detail, what they're really showing is emotional vulnerability. It's proof that their feelings have traveled from their thoughts into their subconscious. The more they fight it, the more it grows. That's how affection transforms into quiet devotion. And here's the deeper truth. Remembering isn't about the past. It's about identity. When someone can't forget you, it's because, in your presence, they felt closer to who they really are. You didn't just leave memories, you left self-awareness. You reminded them of something they didn't know they were missing. Peace, connection, authenticity. And that's why they remember you, not as a chapter, but as a mirror. So when you notice they remember details others overlook, don't take it lightly. The heart never holds on to what doesn't matter. You're not just a thought. They're living in the echo of your presence. Sign number 5. They defend you when you're not around. One of the most revealing signs that someone's heart already belongs to you, whether they admit it or not, is how they act when you're not there. When your name comes up in conversations you'll never hear, when people question you or misinterpret your actions, watch how they respond. Someone who's indifferent will stay silent. But someone whose heart is quietly tethered to yours will feel an instinctive need to protect your name, your image, your energy. They won't let others disrespect you, even subtly. They'll correct misinformation, change the subject when the tone gets unfair, or simply walk away rather than let negativity stain your presence. That's loyalty born from emotional truth. The kind that doesn't need validation, only instinct. The Stoics would call this guardianship of virtue. It's when a person values the essence of who you are enough to defend it without reward or recognition. They might not even understand why they're doing it. They'll tell themselves it's just about fairness, but deep down they're protecting something sacred. The peace they feel when they think of you. Because love, even the kind that hides, naturally moves toward preservation. When someone defends you, they're not just protecting your reputation. They're protecting the emotional bond their heart already considers real. This act often goes unnoticed. You might never know the words they spoke in your absence or the tension they diffused on your behalf. But those are the moments that reveal everything. They don't defend you because they have to. They do it because they want to. It's not about being your hero. It's about refusing to let anyone distort the truth of what they feel. They can't stand the idea of others misjudging someone who quietly means so much to them. That's not friendship, it's emotional allegiance. And if they're afraid of their feelings, this defense will confuse them. They'll notice how irritated they get when others criticize you, or how they instinctively justify your actions. They might even downplay it, pretending it's nothing, yet their tone betrays them. Because care always leaks through protection. That quiet fire in their chest when your name is mentioned, that's attachment. Stoically speaking, it's an emotional reflex rooted in admiration and respect. The key, as always, is to remain grounded. Don't reward or chase it. Just observe. Because defending you in your absence isn't something you can ask for. It's something the heart volunteers. It shows that your influence runs deeper than surface affection. You've become part of their integrity. Protecting you feels like protecting a part of themselves. And when someone guards your name in private, it's the purest kind of confession. There are no witnesses, no applause, no expectations, only truth. They may not send a text, they may not confess their feelings, but somewhere in a conversation you'll never hear, they're standing up for you. That's the heart speaking through action. The Stoic in you doesn't chase that loyalty. You honor it with silence, knowing that love proven in absence is stronger than love declared in words. Sign number 6, they struggle to hide jealousy. When you give attention elsewhere. Jealousy, one of the rawest signs that someone's emotions run deeper than they dare to admit. When their heart already belongs to you, they'll feel it the moment your attention shifts, even slightly. They might pretend it doesn't bother them, but their body will tell on them. The change in their tone, the sudden silence, the forced indifference, all subtle attempts to conceal a truth they can't control. Stoically speaking, jealousy isn't evil. It's simply attachment exposed. It's the emotional proof that you've touched something in them that logic can't suppress. You'll notice it in the smallest reactions. Mention another person casually, and their expression stiffens for a second before they mask it with composure. They might joke about it, tease you, or downplay it, but the energy shifts instantly. Their curiosity turns sharp, their questions indirect. Oh, you hang out with them often, or you seem to really get along with that person. Those aren't harmless observations. They're emotional check-ins disguised as casual conversation. They're measuring how much of your attention still belongs to them. Underneath that reaction lies fear. Fear of being replaced, of losing emotional significance. But deeper than that, it's fear of exposure. Because jealousy makes the hidden heart visible. They know that once you see that flicker of possessiveness, the truth they've been hiding is out. That's why they try so hard to stay calm, to act unaffected. Yet Stoicism teaches us that what disturbs us reveals what we value. Their jealousy isn't about control, it's about vulnerability. It's their ego wrestling with the reality that they care more than they're ready to admit. The Stoic way isn't to exploit this jealousy, it's to understand it. When you see their reactions, don't tease, don't provoke, don't chase. Just observe in silence. Because the power isn't in making them confess. It's in recognizing the truth beneath their restraint. Your calm detachment becomes their mirror. It shows them that love doesn't need to cling to feel secure. By not feeding their insecurity, you teach them emotional control through example. You show that connection can exist without possession. What makes this sign so powerful is its contradiction. They want you to notice their jealousy, but fear what it reveals. So they dance between distance and closeness, pulling away when they feel exposed, then returning when they miss your energy. It's a cycle of silent confession. The more you remain composed, the more their emotions unfold, because your steadiness gives them permission to feel without judgment. And here's the deeper truth. Jealousy doesn't just reveal attachment, it reveals admiration. They don't want to lose your attention because it gives them peace. You've become the calm center they orbit, and losing that feels like losing stability. That's why jealousy, when observed without reaction, transforms from insecurity into honesty. It tells you, I care, but I don't know how to say it. So when you see that subtle shift in their energy, when your focus drifts elsewhere, remember, it's not anger. It's the heart showing what the mouth refuses to say. And the Stoic man doesn't need to point it out. He simply understands. Because silence, once again, says everything. Sign number 7. They open up emotionally, then retreat suddenly. This one reveals everything. One moment, they're vulnerable, talking about things they never tell anyone, sharing stories that feel sacred. Their guard lowers, their tone softens, and for a brief instant, you see their truth. But then, almost as quickly, the walls go back up. They change the subject, make a joke, or withdraw completely. It's like watching a door open to a hidden garden, only to see it slam shut before you can step inside. That's not inconsistency, it's fear. When someone's heart already belongs to you, openness feels both comforting and terrifying. They crave the emotional safety you bring, yet the intensity of it unsettles them. It's not that they don't trust you, it's that they don't trust how deeply they already feel. Emotional retreat is one of the purest signs of attachment, especially when it follows genuine vulnerability. Stoicism teaches us that people aren't scared of love, they're scared of dependence. When they open up to you, their soul feels lighter, freer. But afterward, their mind begins to panic. Why did I say that? Why did I let them see that part of me? What if they don't feel the same? That internal dialogue pulls them back into emotional armor. So they go silent, distant, or act cold, not out of disinterest, but out of self-protection. They're not closing off from you. They're retreating from the mirror you've become. You see, your calm presence has a disarming effect. You listen without judgment. You don't interrupt. You don't try to fix them. That's why they feel safe enough to open up in the first place. But safety, for someone who's used to emotional chaos, can feel foreign. When they share something personal and you respond with quiet understanding instead of drama, their defenses start melting, and that's when fear kicks in. Because the closer they feel to peace, the more they realize how much they could lose. The Stoic response? Don't chase the retreat. Let them pull back. Don't text asking why they went quiet. Don't question what you did wrong. Just remain steady. Your stillness will teach them something no words can. That connection doesn't require pressure. When they see that their vulnerability didn't change how you treat them, they'll start to trust again, slowly, naturally, permanently. The more calm you remain, the more they associate you with emotional safety, not danger. This cycle, open, retreat, return, isn't a flaw. It's part of the process. They're learning that love doesn't have to hurt. They're realizing that peace isn't boring, it's rare. Each time they open up and you respond with patience, their fear weakens. You become the person they can be silent with and honest with. That's not romance, that's emotional gravity. So when they retreat again, don't interpret it as rejection. See it as recalibration. You've touched something sacred within them, the part of their soul that's finally learning it's safe to be seen. And when they come back, they won't need to explain why. You'll already know. Sign number 8. They look for you in every crowd, even when they pretend not to. You'll know their heart is already yours when their eyes start searching for you before their mind gives them permission to. It happens instinctively, without thought, without intention. You walk into a room and something in them shifts. Even if they're trying to play it cool, you'll see that subtle moment of recognition, the quiet spark, the instant awareness of your presence. They'll glance your way, then look away quickly, pretending to stay focused elsewhere. But their energy betrays them. No matter how many people are around, it's you their attention keeps orbiting. They can talk, smile, laugh, but their focus drifts back to where you are. Because when someone's heart is tethered to yours, their awareness always finds its way back home. This isn't about obsession. It's about connection. The Stoics understood that the human spirit recognizes harmony long before the mind does. When two energies align, presence itself becomes magnetic. You don't have to try. You don't have to force a reaction. Your existence becomes their emotional landmark, the point their gaze returns to without conscious thought. And what's fascinating is how they'll try to hide it. They'll avoid locking eyes for too long. They'll face a different direction, but their body always angles toward you. It's subtle, but it's there. You feel it before you even see it. The quiet pull that keeps drawing them near. The more they fight these feelings, the stronger the pull becomes. That's why they always end up around you, even when they swore they wouldn't. They'll justify it to themselves. I just happened to be here. I didn't know they'd show up. I was just passing by. But deep down, they know the truth. The soul has a memory for comfort. It seeks out what feels safe, familiar, and real. You've become that comfort for them, even if they're not ready to admit it. In Stoic philosophy, attraction born of peace is the highest form of connection. It's not chaotic or loud. It's quiet, consistent, and undeniable. You don't need to chase it because its gravity speaks for itself. When someone looks for you in every crowd, they're not just searching for your face. They're searching for the feeling they have when you're near. They crave your calm, your presence, your steadiness. You've become their emotional reference point, and everything else feels like noise compared to that. You'll see it in how they linger when you leave, how they suddenly appear where you are, how their conversations seem to orbit topics that lead back to you. They might never admit it aloud, but their actions say it all. I feel safe when you're here. That's what makes their heart yours. Not possession, not control, but resonance. So when you notice them scanning the room, pretending to be uninterested but always landing on you, smile inwardly. Because that's the heart revealing itself in silence. No games, no words, just presence. In a world full of distractions, their focus remains your quiet confirmation that what you've built isn't ordinary. It's emotional gravity in its purest form. In the end, love rarely announces itself with grand gestures. It hides in the pauses, the contradictions, the small details that most people overlook. When their heart already belongs to you, you won't need constant validation or confession. You'll feel it in the way they move around you. You'll see it in the way they mirror your calm, protect your name, remember your stories, or look for you even when they pretend not to. You'll hear it in the silence between words, in the sudden shift of tone, in the quiet retreats followed by soft returns. All these signs aren't random. They're the language of a heart that's afraid to speak, yet desperate to be understood. Stoicism teaches that love, when true, isn't about control or possession. It's about awareness. It's the ability to see someone's emotions without needing to manipulate them, to recognize affection without demanding proof. That's what separates strength from insecurity. Most people chase love through noise. They demand attention, reactions, labels. But the Stoic understands that what's real doesn't need to be forced. When someone's heart is yours, it will reveal itself naturally, even in fear. You don't need to pry open what's already leaning in your direction. You simply observe, stay grounded, and let truth unfold in its own time. And here's the paradox: the calmer you are, the clearer everything becomes. When you stop demanding clarity, it arrives. When you stop chasing connection, it strengthens. Your stillness becomes the safe space where their walls begin to fall. Because people don't open up to pressure. They open up to peace. You don't have to speak to be understood. Your presence becomes the conversation. That's the power of emotional discipline. You teach by energy, not by argument. So what do you do when you recognize these signs? You don't cling, and you don't retreat in pride. You remain steady. You let them feel your composure, not to manipulate, but to show what love looks like when it's free from fear. Your silence becomes reassurance, not punishment. Your calm becomes invitation, not distance. And slowly, their heart begins to trust what their mind tried to deny. Because here's the truth: you can't hide from real connection. You can delay it, resist it, fear it, but you can't unfeel it. Once two souls recognize each other, every silence, every retreat, every glance becomes part of the same dialogue. Love doesn't need to be shouted, it just needs to be witnessed. In the Stoic sense, mastery isn't about avoiding emotion, it's about holding it with grace. So don't rush what's already becoming. Don't demand what's already unfolding. Let love move at its natural pace. Because when it's real, it doesn't fade in distance. It deepens in quiet. And one day, without warning, they'll stop hiding. Not because you asked, but because your peace made it safe. That's not romance, it's presence. That's not control, it's power. And that's the Stoic truth about hidden love. The heart that's already yours doesn't need convincing. It only needs your calm to reveal itself completely. If you're ready to take your dating life to the next level, my full online course is waiting for you. It's packed with powerful strategies you won't find on YouTube, and it's available in English and Spanish. Click the link in the description and start mastering the game today. See you in the next video.